Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Rock Bottom Airsoft. It's good to see you again. If this is your first time here, as always, it's good to see you. Today we're going to be looking at a little bit of a maintenance job that often gets overlooked, I've noticed, in Airsoft, and there's many different opinions on how to do it online and on similar videos to this. But before we get into that, as always, I just wanted to mention that if you are enjoying my series of videos, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and then you can keep up with each video as I release them. I'll normally put a new video out on a Sunday. If not, I'll put one out early on a Saturday if I'm not available on the Sunday. I'll never put one out late. This week, if you haven't noticed already, we had a bonus video on the Wednesday, which was a bit of gameplay footage from one of my last skirmishes. So check that out if you get the chance. With regard to any further content you might want to see from me, don't forget to visit the page on Facebook and also on Instagram, where you can get additional content from the channel, photos, discussions, that type of thing. And have a look on there. Don't forget to follow those pages, and then you'll be kept up to date on all the new events around the channel. So with all that out of the way, what are we going to look at today? Well, today we are going to look at cleaning the barrel on this replica. We're going to look at some barrel cleaning. Now, what I will say is you'll find a lot of different opinions on how to clean the barrel on your replica. Some people do it one way, some people do it another way. All I'm going to show you in this video is how I normally clean the barrels on my AEGs. And, you know, if you want to try it my way, it's always worked for me. I've always had good results, then that's fine. But as I say, there are many different ways of cleaning the barrel, many different opinions. I'll try and mention some of those as I go through. So this replica has been used in game quite a few times. I've been a bit behind on cleaning the barrel on this one, unfortunately. So hopefully we'll see a bit of dirt in there when I clean it out. So what are you going to need to perform this task? Well, first of all, the replica that you're cleaning. Now, with most replicas, you should receive an unjamming and cleaning rod. I've got quite a few of these now. You can buy them on their own if you don't have one, but you will certainly need an unjamming and cleaning rod. The reason they're so called is because this end has a pointy tip with a slant on it. That's for unjamming your replica if a BB should get jammed in there. And this end has a little loop on it for putting a cleaning swab through so you can clean the barrel. So you're going to need one of those for definite. Now, in my case, what I tend to use for cleaning barrels is I like to try and use a bit of cloth. I have some people using workshop roll or kitchen roll. Even in some cases I've heard of people try and do it with toilet paper. I would not normally recommend doing that myself. In the case of workshop roll and kitchen roll, although they feel very soft, there is the possibility on mild metals that a lot of our AEG barrels are made out of getting scratched. Very, very fine scratches, but over time those scratches can lead to inaccuracy and problems. I wouldn't use soft tissue paper or toilet roll or that type of thing, purely because when they get damp, they break up into little pieces. So as you pull that through your barrel, you're going to end up with little bits of paper. That's also a possibility with kitchen roll and workshop roll. You'll end up with little bits of paper and little impurities in your barrel, which can all affect accuracy and defeat the object of cleaning the barrel in the first place. I would normally try and use a lint-free cloth. Obviously you're not going to use it in this size, you'll never fit that down your barrel. So what you'll need is your lint-free cloth, and ideally cut it into small little strips like this that will fit within your cleaning rod, and then you'll be able to put those down the barrel as swabs and clean out the barrel. And this shouldn't break apart within the barrel. So with that out of the way, your next thing is the cleaning solution. Now, I have seen a lot of videos where people use silicone oil. You don't want to use anything but silicone oil really on an AEG when you're doing maintenance like this, because other oils that are petroleum based, they react with plastics and rubbers and they can eat away at them or make them go brittle. Either way, they don't do plastics and rubbers any good. So if you are going to clean the barrel with an oil-based or a lubricant of some kind, then silicone oil is the only oil that you want to put anywhere near that barrel. Now, a lot of people and a lot of videos online will recommend cleaning your barrel with silicone oil. I don't have a problem with that. If you prefer to use silicone oil, then you use silicone oil. But obviously, once you've cleaned the barrel with the silicone oil, I would make sure that you thoroughly dry out the barrel, remove any traces of silicone oil that's in there. You don't really want silicone oil on the lips of your hop rubber, because the way that it works to create the backspin on the BB does rely to some extent on a certain amount of friction. Obviously, lubricants such as silicone oil are designed to remove friction, so it may affect it. In a lot of cases, I've seen videos and people doing online articles that have found no difference between using silicone oil and other cleaning solutions. So I mean, that's up to yourself what you prefer to use. So if you want to use silicone oil, then do that, but ensure, from my perspective, I'd want to swab out all of the traces of silicone oil when I'd finished. What I tend to use is this. This is isopropyl rubbing alcohol. Get it in as high a percentage of alcohol as you can. This is 90%. It's used in the medical industry for cleaning wounds and that type of thing. It's also used for various cleaning applications. You can get hold of this online. I'll put a link to where you can buy a bottle of isopropyl alcohol in the comments. But you can buy isopropyl alcohol at chemists, pharmacies, supermarkets. Most places will have it. The advantage I find with using isopropyl alcohol is it evaporates. It doesn't remain as a film, and it doesn't leave any residue. So if I clean out the barrel with isopropyl alcohol, there's not going to be any residue left in there. It's also not a lubricant, and it's very mild. It should not react with brass, aluminium or steel, which is the common materials that our inner barrels on our replicas are made out of. It also doesn't have any effect on rubber or plastics. Obviously, I wouldn't want to soak plastics and rubber in it as with anything else, but for what we're doing with barrel cleaning, I find that isopropyl alcohol works the best for me. So you'll need a bottle of that, or what you're going to use for your cleaning solution. Now that is pretty much everything that you will need. One thing that you may need as a bonus is dependent on how you're going to clean your barrel. Now, a lot of people will clean the barrel with the rifle in one piece, as it is here, and that is absolutely fine. If you're going to clean the barrel from a perspective of doing it here with the rifle complete, then what you need to ensure you do is turn your hop up all the way off. So make sure the hop is all the way off. You don't want any hop up on when you start to clean your barrel. The reason being is that the way the hop up works, as you may be aware, is that in the hop window it pushes the rubber in, and that's what creates the backspin. Now if you've got that rubber pushed in slightly and you're pushing a cleaning rod down there, you can probably imagine it'd be quite easy to tear the hot rubber, or at a minimum damage it, and you don't want to damage your hot rubber, because then that means you're going to have to replace it. Again, it's going to affect accuracy and consistency. So turn your hop all the way off. You're still going to have to be careful, because your nozzle protrudes into the hop, and you ideally want to get as far down the barrel as you can. You really want to be going through the hop rubber, but it's hard to tell when the rifle's in one piece. If you're going to do it that way, then that's absolutely fine. The theory is the same for the rest. The difference being is you won't know how far down you've come. What I prefer to do is I prefer to remove the inner barrel when I'm cleaning my barrels thoroughly. So in order to do that, here we have an AR based replica. Now you may need an additional tool if you're going to be doing an AR replica, or any other replica indeed that you might be working on. To take the replica down and to remove the upper receiver, as we call it, which is all this section here, so we can get at the inner barrel, you need to remove the front takedown pin, which is this pin here. We need to remove this pin. Now on some replicas that will be covered with an Allen nut, or an Allen headed screw as it were, and you'll need to remove that in order to take the pin out. If that's the case, you just need a hex key, Allen key, whatever you want to call them, to remove that screw, and then once that's out, you can push the pin out. Now on mine here with a full alloy receiver, it's just a retention pin. So in my case, it comes out quite easily, as you can see. And the pin on this particular replica is captive, which is great. So we can leave the pin like that, we're not going to lose it. On other replicas that I have, that pin may not remove so easily. So the punches come in handy here, either an Allen key that'll fit down there, or some form of punch, ideally. You can put on that hole and then just gently tap until the pin moves and then remove the pin. Another thing to note when you're taking these uppers off is you have to slide it forward and off. That is now your lower receiver and upper receiver separated. In this case, I'm going to pop that pin back in a bit so it doesn't get damaged. And we no longer need to worry about this. That can go to one side. We will get into taking this down further when we do a bit more tech videos for removing the gearbox, etc. But at the moment, the lower receiver we no longer need. So let's put that to one side. So what we're left with is the upper receiver. If we turn the upper receiver upside down, you'll notice that here is our hop up, our hop chamber, and within the outer barrel lies our inner barrel. Now to take that out is very easy. You just slide it out, as you can see there. So the barrel slides out quite easily. You can see that the inner barrel is quite short, and that is the bit we're going to be working with. So now we've finished with the upper. We no longer need the upper receiver, so we can put that to one side. And what we're left with is our inner barrel and our hop up. So it actually has a little arrow on it here. You probably can't make it out on camera, but that will show us which way to go to turn the hop on or off. So I'm going to turn the opposite direction and turn the hop completely off. So that is the hop off. Now when you look down the barrel, you can actually see whether your hop's all the way off. And in this case, I can see that the hop up is now completely turned off. So next up, we're going to clean it. Now if you wanted to remove the hop up, that's going to be another video replacing the hop unit that I'll do. But for now, if you know how to remove the hop unit, you can do if you want, and then clean the barrel that way. But in this video, I'm just going to show you how I do it. So that's our inner barrel out and hop up. So next, what we'll need to do is get into our isopropyl alcohol. What I tend to do is pour a little bit in the cap, and then it's easier to get at. Try not to get this on wood stains or varnished finishes like I have on this table, hence the matte. And what we'll do is we'll take one of our swabs. We'll take our unjamming rod and we'll feed the swab into the eyelet there. Now sometimes it'll be trial and error about getting these the right size. We'll dip this swab into the isopropyl alcohol, and then what I tend to do is start from the barrel end. That is the end you want to start from, and then we basically slowly push the swab down the barrel. Give it a gentle rotation as you go, gently rotating. Take it slow, easy, don't force it. Gently down the barrel. Now the advantage of having the barrel all the way out is that I can see when I get to the end I've gone all the way through the hop unit. So then we bring it back the same way we took it out. If you prefer, you can keep going, go all the way through. Some people prefer to do that because there's an argument that it doesn't put dirt back in the barrel, but me, I tend to like to do 2 passes with the first swab. When you take your swab out, you'll notice, if you can make that out on camera, that the swab is a little bit dirty. There's a little bit of dirt on there. Not too bad. A little bit of dirt on there, so we'll put that swab to one side. I think what we'll do is we'll give it another pass with another swab, and we'll continue doing this until the barrel comes clean. So in other words, once you've put your swabs through, you want to keep doing this until there is no dirt on your swab. So just keep gentle rotation, pushing gently with your unjamming rod all the way through the barrel. Keep rotating, keep cleaning, and you do this again and again until the barrel comes out as clean. Do it as many times as you need. It might take a lot of passes. There we go. So as you can see, we've picked up a little bit more dirt. You can see the dirt on the cloth. So what I'll do is I'll carry on doing this. You would do the same thing until these swabs come up as clean. So let me carry on doing that, and I'll come back to you once the barrel is completely clean and we've no longer got any dirt barrel. I'll then take a dry swab. Even though the isopropyl alcohol will evaporate of its own accord and leave it dry, I like to take a dry swab through just to ensure that we've caught the last traces of dirt. And as you can see with the dry swab, it's easier to see the dirt. So this barrel is still coming up as dirty. So leave that with me and we'll run a few more swabs. Okay, welcome back. So as you can see, after many swabs through the barrel, I'm now happy that this barrel is clean. You can see that the swabs get cleaner and cleaner as you go. Finish with 3 dry swabs just to make sure there's no liquid, no problems with the inner barrel. Then what I would tend to do is use a light and make sure the barrel is clean, which it is, and make sure that the hop is still functioning correctly. To do that, just turn a little bit of hop up on while you can see down the barrel. It'll just make it easier for you to see that the hop hasn't been damaged before you put the rifle back together, which this hasn't. That looks superb. So that's it. That is how to clean the inner barrel of your Airsoft replica. The theory is the same for whichever replica you may be using. It doesn't matter if it's an AEG in an AR style or a Steyr style or G36 or an AK. As long as you know how to take the inner barrel out, the theory is the same. If anybody has any questions about that, let me know in the comments. But you know, the most common one that I tend to work on is ARs, as I like them, as you already know. But yeah, so you can leave the barrel in with any replica that you'd like. You don't have to take that barrel out. It's not a necessity. I just prefer to do it that way because I think it makes it easier to see what you're cleaning and to ensure that the barrel is clean. So just a quick recap before we put the rifle back together. Make sure your swabs fit down the barrel and they aren't too tight, but obviously you want a reasonable seal to get a good clean. Use your cleaning solution first and keep swabbing until your swabs come back reasonably clean. Then run a couple of dry swabs down and see if they stay clean. If that's still dirty, repeat again with some of the isopropyl alcohol and then go back to your dry swabs until you end up with clean swabs. At that point you know that your barrel is clean, and then once your barrel is clean, then that's basically your inner barrel cleaned. It should reward you with better accuracy, better consistency, because you've not got any obstructions, no matter how small, or anything that interacts with the airflow within your inner barrel. So once you've finished and you're happy, grab your upper receiver, which we remove the barrel from. Now you'll notice, I don't know if you can make it out on camera, but within the outer barrel at the breech end here, you'll have 2 little notches, and those 2 little notches are what these wings on the hop unit, if you like, fit into. So the hop unit goes that way up. We just slide it and locate it within the outer barrel and slide it all the way up, and it'll locate in those notches. Now in some they'll be captive, so when you push it up there it will remain there. It won't spring back like this one, but this does have quite a strong spring on it. So if you come across that problem, what I like to do, obviously removing the captive pin, I will do it upside down, purely from the perspective of it makes it easier to locate the hop unit correctly, and make sure it goes onto the nozzle, and then we can push our upper and lower together and push the pin through, and that's it. We now have our hop unit sitting where it should sit. The barrel is clean, and this rifle is ready to shoot another day. Okay, so I hope you found that helpful. As I say, it's not a difficult job, and the rewards can be great, especially if you use a particular replica quite regularly. The inner barrel is going to get dirty, so obviously you want to really be cleaning your barrel. Some people will say after every game. If you want to do it after every game, that's not going to do any harm, but I tend to do mine every other game. If I've had a particular rifle in use all day for a game, then I'll wait until it's had another game and then I'll clean it out. If you've had a particularly dirty skirmish, such as you're in a woodland game and maybe your inner barrel's got caked in some dirt or mud, or it may have had foliage or something like that gone down the inner barrel, then at that point I would say it would be worth cleaning it after a game, just to prevent any possibility of corrosion or anything like that. You shouldn't really get corrosion with what the inner barrels are made out of, but why risk it? But yeah, so cleaning inner barrels, very important. Improves your accuracy, especially if you're working from a dirty barrel to a clean barrel. You should notice a difference. Doesn't take long to do, not very difficult to do, not very expensive for the parts that you need. So if you enjoyed this video and if you found it useful, then don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If there's anything you'd like to add to barrel cleaning, if you find that you prefer to clean your barrels with silicone oil rather than isopropyl alcohol, or maybe you just clean them with dry swabs, then let me know in the comments and I'll always get back to you. And again, if you're enjoying these videos, then don't forget to subscribe, and then you'll be kept up to date when I release a new video. If there's any bonus videos, you'll find out, and look me up on Facebook and Instagram and you can get some more content from me there. Okay, but until the next one, thanks very much.